Picture the thunder of a modern drone overhead as a soldier in sleek black armor locks eyes with a legionary in bronze, a Mongol horse archer, a Spartan hoplite, and a samurai, all frozen in time. The clash of centuries feels like a movie trailer for a battle that could never happen, yet the question lingers: who would truly dominate when firepower meets tradition? In the next few minutes, we'll walk through the gear, the training, the communication, and the tactics that define today's elite warriors, and compare them side by side with the most powerful empires the world has ever known. Welcome back to the channel, where we blend history with the present to answer the impossible what-if scenarios that keep us up at night. I'm your guide, and together we'll break down 4 pillars of warfare: the evolution of soldier equipment, the depth of training, the reach of communication networks, and the strategic mindsets that drove empires to greatness. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear picture of how a modern special forces operator measures up against the legions, phalanxes, cavalry hordes, and samurai that once ruled continents. Let's start with the gear. Imagine a modern infantryman wearing a modular plate carrier, layers of Kevlar, and a lightweight helmet equipped with night vision lenses and a heads-up display. Every piece is designed to stop bullets, shrapnel, and even improvised explosive devices while keeping the soldier mobile. In contrast, a Roman legionary dons a steel breastplate called lorica segmentata, a heavy wooden shield, and a short sword. The armor provides solid protection against swords and spears, but offers little defense against high-velocity rounds. A Mongol rider wears leather lamellar, a fur-lined coat, and a sturdy felt hat, built for speed across the steppes rather than for stopping bullets. The samurai's lacquered plates and lacquered helmets are masterpieces of craftsmanship, offering excellent defense against arrows and swords, yet they cannot withstand a modern rifle's kinetic energy. Now think about weapons. The modern soldier's primary tool is a rifle that can fire hundreds of rounds per minute, equipped with holographic sights, laser designators, and an underbarrel grenade launcher. A single burst can engage targets at 300 meters with lethal precision, and the soldier can call in air support with a click of a button. The Roman gladius, while deadly in close quarters, requires the soldier to get within arm's reach, and the legionary's pilum, an iron-tipped spear, must be thrown before the enemy can close the distance. The Mongol bow, a composite masterpiece, can launch arrows at a distance of 200 meters with a rapid rate of fire, but each arrow must be re-nocked by hand. The samurai's katana is a masterpiece of cutting power, but it demands a face-to-face duel that modern soldiers rarely experience. Logistics also tell a different story. A contemporary operator carries a 30-kilogram load that includes ammunition, medical kits, water, and a battery-powered radio, all resupplied by airdrop or unmanned aerial vehicle within minutes. Ancient troops relied on supply trains, pack animals, and the goodwill of local populations. A Roman legion marched with a marching camp set up each night. A Mongol horde moved with herds of horses and a network of relay stations, and a samurai clan depended on rice stores and the loyalty of vassals. The speed at which modern forces can replenish their gear gives them a decisive edge in sustained combat. Training is the next frontier. Today's special forces undergo years of rigorous physical conditioning, advanced marksmanship, close-quarters battle, and survival skills in every climate on the planet. They practice urban warfare, desert operations, jungle patrols, and high-altitude missions, all while mastering language skills and cultural awareness. A Roman legionary spent months learning formation drills, siege tactics, and the art of building fortified camps. The Mongol horse archer started riding before he could walk, learning to shoot accurately while galloping at full speed. Samurai training began in childhood, focusing on swordsmanship, archery, and the code of honor that dictated every action on the battlefield. All of this builds toward a single, burning question. When you stack the most advanced soldier against the mightiest armies of history, who walks away victorious? I want to hear what you think about this clash of eras. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because the answer might surprise you. When you strip away the romance of swords and shields and look at the raw data, the modern operator's advantage becomes stark. First, consider the speed of decision-making. A contemporary soldier is linked to a network that streams real-time intelligence from satellites, drones, and ground sensors. In a matter of seconds, a commander can see the enemy's position, assess terrain, and issue a fire mission that lands a precision strike within a few hundred meters. Ancient commanders relied on messengers on horseback or runners, a process that could take hours, especially across the vast steppes of the Mongol realm or the sprawling frontiers of the Roman legions. That lag meant that tactics were often reactive rather than proactive, and the ability to adapt on the fly was limited by the speed of the courier. Communication on the modern battlefield also shatters the constraints of the past. A squad leader can speak directly to each team member through encrypted radios, share live video feeds, and even coordinate with artillery or air support with a single button press. In contrast, a Roman centurion used hand signals and shouted commands that could be drowned out by the clamor of battle. A Mongol commander relied on a system of flags and horn blasts that conveyed only basic orders. The samurai, bound by a strict code of honor, often fought in small, isolated units where personal initiative was prized, but coordinated mass maneuvers were rare. The ability to maintain situational awareness across a dispersed force gives the modern soldier a decisive edge in both offense and defense. Strategy, however, is where the ancient empires still command respect. The Roman Empire mastered the art of engineering, building roads, forts, and siege engines that allowed them to project power across continents. Their disciplined formations, such as the testudo, could absorb missile fire and advance under a wall of shields. The Mongols perfected mobility, using speed, deception, and psychological warfare to outmaneuver larger foes. Their feigned retreats and rapid flanking attacks could break even the most disciplined infantry. The Ottoman Empire, with its Janissary Corps, blended gunpowder technology with traditional cavalry, creating a hybrid force that dominated the eastern Mediterranean for centuries. The British Empire leveraged naval supremacy and a global network of colonies to sustain prolonged campaigns far from home. These strategic doctrines were honed over centuries, refined through countless campaigns, and embedded in the very culture of each empire. So, does the sheer firepower and connectivity of a modern soldier outweigh the centuries-old strategic genius of these empires? The answer is nuanced. In a head-to-head duel, a modern operator with a rifle, night vision optics, and a drone overhead would likely outshoot and outmaneuver a lone legionary or a single samurai. The range of a modern assault rifle dwarfs the reach of a gladius or a katana, and the ability to call in an airstrike would decimate a tightly packed phalanx before it could close the distance. Yet, when you scale the conflict to the level of entire armies, the picture changes. An empire's strength lies not in a single soldier, but in its capacity to field millions, sustain supply lines, and execute complex campaigns over years. A modern special forces team, no matter how elite, cannot replace the logistical might of a Roman supply train or the cavalry numbers of a Mongol horde. If you imagine a scenario where a modern battalion equipped with drones, armored vehicles, and precision artillery faces a Roman legion reinforced by auxiliary troops, the modern side would dominate the open field thanks to superior firepower and protection. However, if the battle shifts to dense urban environments, narrow mountain passes, or heavily forested terrain where line of sight is limited, the ancient force's intimate knowledge of close-quarters combat and guerrilla tactics could level the playing field. The Mongol horse archers, for instance, could exploit their mobility to harass supply convoys, forcing the modern force to stretch its logistics thin. The samurai's discipline and willingness to fight to the death could turn a fortified position into a near impregnable bastion, especially if the modern side is constrained by rules of engagement that limit collateral damage. Ultimately, the victor would be determined by the context of the engagement. In a pure technological showdown, the modern soldier's equipment, training, and communication give them a clear advantage. In a protracted campaign where numbers, supply, and strategic depth matter, the ancient empire's institutional strengths could tip the scales. The most likely outcome is a hybrid scenario. Modern forces would dominate in direct combat, but they would need to adapt ancient strategic lessons, logistics, terrain exploitation, and psychological warfare to achieve lasting success. What do you think? Does the edge of technology outweigh the weight of history? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep the debate alive. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the clash of eras, give the video a thumbs up, and consider subscribing for more explorations where past meets present. Your support helps us bring more content that bridges the gap between history and the modern world. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.